Barak Yahweh Allah. Shalom about your family. Welcome back to Truth Talk. I want y'all to look at this video and let me know what y'all feel about it. And we'll talk about it at the end.
Go Big Z! Go Big Z! Go Big Z!
My bad about that.
Big Z! Go 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 Big Z! Get it there, Big Z! Get it there, Big Z! Get it there, Big Z! Yeah! Turn around and pull! Pull, baby boy! Pull, baby boy! Pull, baby boy! Pull, baby boy! Pull, big boy! Fast! Fast! Get it over! Fast! Get it over! Get it over! Fast! Pull, Big Z! Pull, Big Z! Pull, baby boy! Pull! 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 Look here. Good. Hey, go, Big Z! Go, Big Z! Go,
Now, this is not the only video, man. You know, the internet, the single one does 100 more just like it. And, you know, the other day I seen a video. This time it was uh, an older Hebrew sister, older uh, young child. Looked like she had to be about maybe 13, 14. And her daddy was exercising with her. And she was pulling the work side to side. And she was talking about how she was tired and she was crying, talking about she can't do it. And, he was yelling at her, encouraging her also. But he was like, don't you never say you can't. You know, uh, you putting that in the atmosphere, you can. And obviously the young 13-year-old girl was hurt and she was tired. They probably been doing this for a long time. And she just wanted to stop and rest. He was like, nope, keep doing it. She was like, I can't. He was like, don't you say that. Get it. He was fussing and yelling at her. And then she finally got up and started doing it. And now I seen this one. I just had to say something because this is even younger dude. Like everyone that I seen, it was, you know, our people, Hebrews, black people, black children, black people doing this to their children. But most of them was like 13, 14. But this young fella, I don't know how old he is, but he below the age of 10. And I gotta ask what's the motivation, because when you read the comments, most people are like, oh yeah, that's good. That's teaching them discipline. This is why children need fathers in their life. And okay, I get all that. Because when I played sports, that's the main thing he used to talk about was they'll give you discipline. And it do for the most part, it do give you some type of structure and discipline. But anything you do in life do it. When you get a job or whatever, like anything is gonna give you discipline, or you're gonna have to work at it, be patient, and really give yourself to it if you want to succeed, or at least be the best that you can be. But I don't know, this bothered me because I only see our people doing this, and is this really to give them discipline and help them in life? Like, what's doing all these exercises and making them train, you know, above what their body, you know, is telling them to do? So, like, what job are they going to get? And we all know what this is about: football, basketball, sports. The video that I seen, a young lady that was probably about 13 or 14, that her daddy was training hard and yelling at her. She was a young basketball player. And I understand, people use Michael Jackson, Daddy, as an example, saying, even though he was hard on them and he might have beat their butt or whatever, but look at what it made produce. It produced one of the world's greatest superstars, Michael Michael Jackson, and and sister, uh, his sister Janet, and it's like okay, but look how damaged MJ was. Look how damaged Michael Jackson was, and what are you willing to trade success for? Because a lot of times people feel like, well, if you write on the dotted line in blood, you're selling your soul. But I like to confess that a lot of people are selling their souls without writing blood on the dotted line. A lot of kids are selling out their children at a young age. We talk about Hollywood, how a lot of these parents knew that some of the things their children was being exposed to or being done to, but they just allowed it because the money. They want their kids to be famous. And this is another way of selling out your kids. Now, I don't know, but I can imagine many fathers would want their son to grow up and be uh, in the NFL or in the NBA or even in the baseball league. That's what, baseball, they make more money than everybody. Uh, but at what price? What are we doing to these children? And what if they don't make it? They've been training since 2 or 3, 9, 10, 12, and they doing this because you pushing them, and this is your expectation for their life. You want them to go and be the next LeBron, the next MJ, the next Kobe, the next great woman basketball player, the next Serena. All these things you pushing them to be. And that's another example of Serena and Sabina. They say, oh, they daddy, when they was young, they daddy had them out there training them and pushing them, and look at what they become today. And that is true. When you have parents that push you in one direction or other, that that can lead to great success. But see, a lot of times we like to look at the examples of those who made it. There are many Sabinas and Cherubians that had daddy that pushed them, but they didn't make it. You don't hear about those stories. Those are stories of the female that's on crack that you see walking around dirty on crack and you don't know her story. We only talk about those that made it as if that's how it worked out for everybody. The majority of the people, it's like, no, majority of the people that are pushed that do this don't make it. And then you have the examples or the few that made it as if everybody is going to achieve that. Now, I got no problem with this, and I got no problem with working out with your children. I got no problem with pushing your children in athlete and physical, mentally, but especially with us. Why are we so invested pushing our children physically and not mentally? I see a lot of videos of black parents and black men with their black daughters and sons pushing them physically. So, and then hopefully one day they will grow up to be a great athlete and make millions. But What are the ones that's pushing them to be doctors and lawyers? Pushes them to, the athletes when they get signed, they sign to somebody, some company, and then they got these people that looking at their money, all these accounts and money management people. Why are we not pushing our children to be in that field also? Because even though they don't get seen, they make damn good money off managing NBAs and NFL football players, money and career and stuff. So yeah, I get it. It can be healthy. It can teach discipline. It help your children be strong. It help them to know that they can do it and not give up. That wherever they face in life, no matter how hard it is, they can push through it. That they'll think back. When I was little, I thought I couldn't push through it and do more, but my daddy said, keep going. And I thought I wasn't able to do it, but I did do it, and I done, even more than I thought I can do. So, anything in life, may approach it like that. But are we setting our children up to take on life in any area, not just to go out there and perform and be the greatest tackler or quarterback or wide receiver? Everybody want their son to be the Shador Sanders, the Michael Vicks of the world. And a lot of times it take the fun, because I played sports when I was little, and it was fun. And yeah, when looking at how we played and looking at how the kids our age, how they play, it's like it's different. Like a lot of the kids, they didn't know how to line up on the ball. They didn't know how to tackle. You look at the youth play football, the youth center nowadays play football. It's almost like they playing like they in the pro. And I understand the growth, but is it even any fun no more? Are they just going out there trying to compete and not having fun? Because that's what sports was for with kids. It was supposed to be something to keep them out of trouble, keep them healthy, let them have fun, teach them about teammates, and give them all that discipline, but also with having fun and enjoying themselves. I was looking at a video of a young dude. He was upset because he didn't make a touchdown. He was really about to cry. And it's like, it's not that serious. One, it's a game. It ain't like if you win, you're going to get $1 million or anything going to change. But that's what comes with it. But he was so devastated. Like these kids, they lose and they be so devastated. I mean, we played ball when we lost. Yeah, it hurt, but it was like, man, we lost. But it wasn't like we weren't devastated because we knew that it was just a game, that we was gonna play another game, and you win and you lose some. But it's just like, is it even any fun anymore, these kids? And are these parents trying to live through them? Are their parents saying that, hey, if I can make him make it to the NBA and you know he make all this money, then I'd be well off? Is it a selfish act? And then you look at the percentage of how many people actually uh, try to make it into the NBA or the NBA and NFL, and how many actually percent of people and athletes actually make it to the big leagues. Like at training camp, every day they cut people. People that played football ever since uh rec ball that went on to college. And it ain't not the fact that they good. It's just the fact that everybody good. And they like, well, I gotta be out this person. I gotta everybody trying to do the little extra, get advantage. Even to like this, training their kids at this age trying to get advantage so they can make that spot. When the truth is you're not guaranteed to make it no matter how good you are. There's a lot of good people that I know personally that can ball or that's a good at playing football but just didn't make it. And you'd be like, man, how you didn't make it? They'll show their shoulders like, I don't know, I tried out. I was on the last routine, or I was at the, what they call I forgot what they call it when it's the last team where you make it there and you either get on the field or the court, kind of like preseason, uh, like football preseason during this time, the third screen or the fourth screen, they'll let them get out there and play. Or in the NBA, some of the dudes that sit on the bench, like they was like, yeah, I sat on the bench for 2 years or so and so, and I played in this, but like just and these people are damn good, but it ain't guaranteed they gonna make it. And if they make, you seen, we seen over and over how somebody can injure themselves, and they can real end just like this. My bad, I mean end just like that. Well, they uh break their knee, break their ankle, break their leg, do something crazy. Especially you've been training all your life, like don't know how that wear down your body. Like, and this hadn't been studied for this young fella to be this young, training this much. Like, how much effect do that have on his body? Because even in NFL, while they have these concussions and CTE, the body is not built and made to crash into each other like on football fields. You gotta run and hit each other. Yeah, you can run real fast. You can hit somebody. The body is not made to run at full speed all day, every day. You're gonna end up pulling something. And that's why the athlete after every game or workout, they get in a tub of ice. They doing all this therapy, eating this type of way, doing this and doing that to keep their body up because the body is not meant to. It wasn't made like that. The body wasn't made to crash into each other, another man over and over and over. They didn't have a name for it. Now they got a name for it. We knew about the concussion, but now what it's called CTE or whatever was permanent brain damage. And then when you really hear, I don't know if y'all ever seen the dark side of the NBA, but they talk about like, man, it was a high number. I think like 70% of NFL players that retired, that they retired in pain. And we ain't talking about like the quarterbacks, the famous wide receivers. Think about it, those are not the only people that's on the team. You got the D line, the O line, you got blockers, you know what I'm saying? Like the linebackers, uh the I think of the name, the corners, like the people that a wide receiver can be famous, a quarterback can be famous, a running back can even be famous. But those dudes that's not so famous, that's in those trenches, that's blocking the quarterback, that's uh, pass rushers, and those linemen that tackle the running back. A lot of these players, after they retire and their career over, they be in so much pain. They walk with a limp. It's hard for them to stand up because, and they don't talk about it. They only show you the money and yes, he loved the game, but they don't talk about that after playing these seasons that they won't have a comfortable life. And a lot of these people they get hooked on pain medicine because they be in so much pain that they need something. Have you ever seen a a a a, a, a pro football player and he's walking with a limp? So the idea, like, this is what a lot of times we setting our children up for. Instead of setting them up for something like owning their own business, especially for our people, seem like this. They seem like a lot of them think like this is the only way to train our children to be athletes. But yeah, anyway, a lot of those players, 70% of those players, go broke after 5 years after their career is over. So I'm gonna ask y'all, what y'all opinion? Do y'all think this is healthy for our kids? Do you think this is parents trying to uh, live through their kids? Do you think as black people our culture is too much around making it into the NBA or NFL? Because I was a young boy, you asked me what I wanted to be. It was one of three things. And if you ask young black boys the same thing today, sadly, they say the same thing. I want to be in the NFL. I want to be in the NBA. I want to be a rapper. You barely hear anybody say, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an entrepreneur. I want to be a landscaper. I want to own me a concrete business. But y'all let me know what y'all feel about this.
Get it there, Big Z. Yeah, turn around and pull. Pull, baby boy. Pull, baby boy. Pull, baby boy. Pull, baby boy. Pull, big boy. Fast. Fast. Get it over. Fast. Get it over. Get it over. Fast. Pull, Big Z. Pull, Big Z. Pull, baby boy. Pull. 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 Look here. Good.
But as always, let y'all be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.